Hi, my name is Lauren Rogers. This is my PA number 1 assignment for Sped 418, and it's titled Using Research-Based Strategies to Cultivate Continuous Classroom Improvement. One of the things I noticed going into this was that I really had no idea about really not very many instructional strategies or theories that we should implement in the classroom. I think that was something that we never really talked about. We all kind of just understood in the back of our heads. And I really noticed that the difference, I think, that between classrooms, 3 decades ago versus now is just the culture in the classrooms. So classrooms in the past were kind of rigid. The curriculum, there wasn't a lot of access to a lot of different things. Our resources were just kind of scarce. There wasn't a lot that teachers really did to kind of grow themselves, and they weren't really held as accountable. Now I think that our classrooms have made a step in the right direction where we really benefit from learning about our growth, reflecting where we're growing and where we're not growing, the flexibility for the students' needs, since every student just can't learn the same way, and most definitely the communication between students, teachers, and parents now. So I think that plays a huge role in where we were and where we are now. I think the evolution of these things definitely it has to do with these instructional theories that we've begun to implement in the classroom to kind of help change the thinking of our students, where they go from the mindset of I looked at my work and I'm just not smart. I can't do this and I can't handle this, to a mindset of, okay, so this is what I did right, so I'm on the right track. I just have to keep pushing and take this challenge as a step to make myself better and to improve. And this mindset that I've just described has been researched by a lady named Carol Dweck, and it's called the growth mindset theory. So Dweck, in her research, noticed that people either had a fixed mindset usually, or they had a growth mindset. So even though students have a fixed mindset, a lot of times we can help you by using instructional tools. We can help change their mindset. A problem that some teachers do run into is that you have the battle between home life and school life. And a teacher can only do so much in the classroom, and she can only try to put that student towards developing their growth mindset for so long. So if that's the case, she might have to take, or he might have to take, an alternative route to figure out kind of what's going on for that student, but mainly focus on their personal needs and the classroom culture and the needs of all students when thinking about implementing this growth mindset. So one thing a teacher can do when implementing growth mindset is that positive phrases play a big role in this. So the teacher should really, if a student says, I can't do this, I'm not smart, I don't know what we're doing, I'm just going to fail, she can start by saying, no, let's think about what we've learned and what we know we can do to help us become better. So if the student were to say some negative things like that, she could also use something specific like, okay, think about the strategies we've learned to solve this math problem. Okay, you should try, maybe think about this, implement this into your work and see if this helps. And as the teacher says these things, the student begins to make some connections from their life into their school life about growth mindset. So I think it really puts them in more of a positive state of mind, and it has shown that students that do implement the growth mindset and do learn how to develop the growth mindset and think about their own thinking and their metacognition, that they tend to have less stress academically because they know they can handle many, many challenges and that it's bettering themselves. So once a student learns that they can grow, then the possibilities are endless. So while we're talking about it, growth mindset it's not really an assessment or an evaluation, but I think implementing growth mindset, you do need to evaluate your students as you go along And not only should students be evaluated, teachers should as well. So we've studied T-tests, which is basically an adaptation from Charlotte Danielson's frameworks for teaching. As I searched through, I noticed that they're almost identical besides some really superficial things like titles and different things that go under each category. And I think this is important for the teacher because I noticed inside this T-test or the frameworks for teaching that it helps the teacher develop a growth mindset. So what better way for students to learn than a teacher learning growth mindset and developing his or her growth mindset while the student is developing their growth mindset. So I think that plays a large role in making sure that implementing growth mindset into the classroom, they really see a positive use and a real world use for it. And it's not just some junk that they're not going to benefit from. Okay. And like I've mentioned before, teachers always have that battle between home life and school life. So you just have to figure out what works in your classroom with certain students in order to help get them towards developing the growth mindset. So you'll never be able to change their core values, was something that I learned, but you can help them implement the growth mindset, but it's going to be a little more challenging. I think that overall T-tests and Danielson's framework for teaching, they're so intertwined, and I'm beginning to see that that's why we learned these certain things together. The growth mindset theory really just intrinsically motivates students, and they learn how to motivate themselves. So instead of having to stay on that student, you need to do this, you need to do this, you've got to make a good grade on this, I know you can do this. It helps them see inside, okay, I can take learning kind of into my own hands, and I can see that I know this is what I'm supposed to do, and I accept the challenge of doing better and doing a really good job on this assignment or this paper or anything else. So just to wrap it all up, by using instructional theory research as an effective evaluation system, classroom improvement can be cultivated throughout the entirety of the school year. So this isn't something that students and teachers are going to be able to do right off the bat unless teachers in the entire school have started in kindergarten or pre-K helping students develop these skills little by little, and then they're juniors in high school and they've really mastered the growth mindset. So it's really key to develop this, to start as early as possible and to really get your students on board and help them understand that this will benefit them throughout their entire lives, especially when they get out into the workforce. Thank you.